as someone who actually has been a seeker for quite some time, I still, even though some of these concepts are familiar to me, those exercises I feel have been very helpful in my own life because it's obviously coming to me at the right time. Do you have one exercise that you would be able to share with people that are listening right now?
My goal is to get people to have affirmation work. Self-love is the true soul purpose when you get down to the bottom line. Knowledge and self-love. Those are the two most important soul purposes. So yes, our life purpose guides us to that, which is getting married, having children, all these other things we do, buying homes, marrying people, those kinds of things. And then you have your soul purpose, and that's to learn to be in self-care, self-love, and have knowledge about who you are. And so affirmations help you get there, to understand the value of you. I will tell you that when I felt that pure love coming towards me, I was affirmed, and there is nothing more powerful than that. And when you can wake up in the morning and say, I have value, I am worthy, I am lovable, I'm capable, I'm enough. When you start working those tools, I call all of those questions a toolbox. And they're tools when you work them to fill your box. So when something happens, this is how it works for me. Something happens. I picture a toolbox. I start throwing the tools out. That won't work. That won't work. Well, there it is. And I grab that tool and I'll use it. Because I tell people, if I give you a broken screwdriver and every time you walk past a light switch, it shocks you, and you take that screwdriver out of your toolbox and you try to get that to not shock you, it's going to keep shocking you over and over because you have a broken tool. So the whole goal of those questions and those exercises is to give you tools, the most important one being self-love. So I love the one that says, I feel, I am, I experience. And this is later on in the book when you've done all the other work. I wish, I have dreams of, I hope. These are powerful things to know because we just say, oh, I wish this, and then it's gone. Everything's fleeting that goes through us. But when you write that down on paper and you recognize, here it is in front of me. This is what my dream is for my journey and for my soul. It's very powerful.
Yeah. And you're important enough. Those listening and watching know you're important enough to have that recorded. Well, however that is for you, if you're writing it down or wherever you save that, take the time to do it. It's important for your soul.
Yes. Someone told me they read through the book and went back into the exercises, and it was wonderful for them. I almost did it that way. But I thought, no, when they go to do the exercises, they won't know where to go. So that's why I did it the way I did it. But if you read through the book and go back, it's really helpful. I think that understanding what those exercises mean and why they're so important to apply to your journey comes with doing them. That's why I have integration moments before that, because it makes you think before you step into those exercises.
And they're very simple. They don't take a lot of time. They're very insightful. It's a beautiful book, Susan. So much information in it. But it was a really painful journey for you to go through all of those experiences again, for you to revisit all that. So why did you write this book, and what were you hoping that the takeaway would be for the reader?
I wrote the book because I knew this message needed to be out, and Spirit told me. When I heard you have to write your book now, it's time, I said, are you crazy? I'm not a writer. And they said, it's time. And I said, I'm not a writer. Hay House says to me now, you are now. So interesting. My goal was to reach people with truth, spiritual truth, the spirit world's truth that I saw. And that doesn't make me right. I honor everyone's belief system. I truly do. But I just know what they wanted me to say. And I listened to them the whole time I was writing it. It was so important to me to hear what they wanted everyone to hear. I wrote it because I know how broken this journey takes us to the breaking point. I wrote it because I know that some people feel like they don't want to be here. I wrote it because I knew there were mothers out there suffering. I wrote it because grief is so prominent in our journey. I wrote it because we fear death, and I wanted people not to have to fear it. It's just like birth. I have to say this, birth and leaving this planet are exactly the same. You fight coming out of the womb. You're scared. You don't know what's happening. You pop out and you're grabbed and it's cold and you're prodded and you're poked. And then you get wrapped in a blanket of love and you're set into your mother's arms and you feel wonderful and beautiful and safe and secure. Death is the same way. You're fighting it. You're scared. You don't like the unknown. You don't know where you're going. You get there. They wrap you in a blanket of love, and you know right where you are, and you know you're safe. And I wanted people to know this and really hear the details of that.
I love the way you put that, and the way that your book takes people on a journey. And you make it all comfortable. You give people such knowledge about what feels so unknown. And then also it gives them knowledge of themselves ultimately, which
Yes.
really every person watching or listening, we can't recommend this book enough. It's important. Karen and I are always talking about this beginner seeker journey, someone who's just opened the door. They may not even realize they're opening the door, but they're at a crossroads in their life for whatever reason. And they're starting to just wonder, what else is there? Why are they here? We believe from reading your book, you give them the tools by sharing and being vulnerable about your own journey so far. And then also giving them these exercises and questions for them to then start to investigate themselves and why they are here. Because we know we're all here on purpose. We all chose to be here to evolve as souls. So what you've done is so important.
Thank you. And I think the person that does understand it all, I really believe in honoring and looking at and learning from other perspectives. And we are never done until we're gone. And then we're not done.
And I was going to say, and then we're not done.
And many people who are on their spiritual quest, like my students who have been doing this a long time, they'll literally say to me, I never thought to do this. I never really looked at it that way. I never, even though they're in a room with me and I'm talking about it, you forget it goes through you.
It's an incredible book. And thank you for taking the journey, Susan. We know that it was hard, but it's going to help so many people, inspire so many people to seek more, to learn more, really.